Live from Tokyo, Japan. Breaking news, another, unfortunately, rockets attack from another direction. This time it's not from Gaza, this time it's not from Lebanon. I'll wait for you to connect, and then I'll give you the news, and I'll explain more about what is going on, okay? There's a lot that is going on, and I can't even keep up with all the events. I wish I was in Israel closer, but nevertheless, I'm well connected, and I will give you an update. Okay, so listen, big news, very big news, breaking news, and I want you to share it with people. I don't think you will hear about it from your media. Okay, so we are going to talk about three things, okay? Um, all right, so folks, again, breaking news. This is Amir Tsarfati. I'm from Tokyo. It's 4:30 a.m. I'm up early because in an hour I need to leave the hotel, take the train, and go and speak and teach a Easter Sunday morning service in Sendai. It's an hour and a half train ride from here. So I'm up anyway. I slept 2.5 hours. But again, stuff is happening, and you need to know about it. So listen, breaking news: Israel is now officially attacked also from Syria. Okay, so in the last few days, there were rockets flying from Gaza. Then the rockets that were flying on Passover Day from Lebanon. And now, as of a few minutes ago, rockets from Syria. That's the third place Israel is attacked from. Now, if you've been following me, in fact, there is another place we should be expecting rockets from, believe it or not. And you're probably saying, what are you talking about? Where else? Well, there's a new player that is now ready to take on some action because they will be bored soon. The Houthis in Yemen just announced that they want to help. They want to help the effort. And from the information that I have, Saudi Arabia and the Houthis are reaching an agreement of ceasefire, which means the Houthis are now ready to take up new missions from Iran to attack new enemy. And this is why they're available. If you follow me on Telegram, you saw that the Al Mayadeen TV station in Lebanon already showed a map of all the Shiite axis. They call it we are now united against the Zionists. And again, rockets, at least 3 rockets were just launched from Syria. And we shouldn't be worried. Excuse me, we shouldn't be surprised. Worried we should be, but we kind of knew it's coming. Again, let me explain something. I don't want to sound dramatic. I will just give it to you as it is, because a lot of people don't understand that. Some people try to tell me, Amir, all the wokeism and all the stuff that is going on in Israel similar to America. No, 250,000 rockets are now aimed towards Israel from all of our surroundings. Israel is only 26 times smaller than Ukraine. So you can imagine, 250,000 rockets are aimed at a territory that is so small, the size of New Jersey, where 70% of the population lives in 20% of the area. So you understand how easy and vulnerable Israel is for our enemies, okay? And so, again, rockets from Syria in the last few minutes, and I'm reading the IDF is now responding with artillery, but this is obviously nothing. And a lot of Israelis are wondering, listen to this, a lot of Israelis are wondering, why is it that the Netanyahu government is responding in such a weak manner? Well, I've been asking that myself. Um, and from what I understand, something much bigger is on the table. And this is exactly why the US, listen to this, the US just sent across the Suez Canal into the Mediterranean a nuclear submarine that is capable of shooting 150 nuclear head rockets, missiles. And there's a big US carrier that is right now approaching the shores of the Mediterranean. So America understands there is an Iranian move for something much bigger than just few rockets from here and few rockets from there. Okay, let's face it, the rockets from Lebanon were tiny, 107 millimeter. They're the old thing you can actually launch from a donkey back. Okay, this is not something to be afraid of. What we need to be afraid of is the 200,000 rockets that Hezbollah has. That is, some of them are very accurate, and the rockets that Iran smuggled to Syria that are very accurate. And of course, Hamas and Islamic Jihad, and you never know what the Houthis have. I mean, we do know, which is exactly why I said 250,000 rockets are now aimed at Israel from all sides. And the Iranians, very, very encouraged from the departure of America from the Middle East and from the warming up of the relationship with Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia and Iran today signed more agreements, and one of them is going to basically allow the Houthis in Yemen to sign a ceasefire agreement with the Saudis. Because the Houthis are just a proxy of Iran. If Iran wants peace, Iran will tell its proxies to stop. If Iran wants war, Iran is going to use its proxies. So, folks, breaking news, another rocket attack, this time from Syria. This is the third area from which rockets flies to Israel within 4 days. From Gaza on Passover Eve, from Lebanon on Passover Day, the next day, and now from Syria. And we're not even done with the Ramadan. There's 10 more days to go. Or, no, almost 2 weeks to go. Now, another disturbing news is that the Iranians decided that this coming Wednesday, they're going to have a naval exercise in solidarity with the Palestinian people, and they will conduct exercises. That's just a code name. That's code name all around the world. Russia said there was an exercise a few seconds before the war in Ukraine. China is talking about exercises around Taiwan, and Iran is now using that code name. The way they say, and on my Telegram you can read everything. The way they've worded it is like this: the exercise will be held in Iran's territorial waters in the north and south, as well as in a number of other parts around the world. They're leaving, their freedom to act from the area of Yemen, area of Syria. This is it, folks. They are now strong enough. They feel strong enough to tell the whole world that when we do exercise, it's not only next to where we are, but in various places around the world. Okay, so again, rockets flying towards Israel from Syria a few minutes ago. Israel responded with artillery, but much more is going on. The Temple Mount is what they are using to instigate everything and to justify everything. They are telling people to go in, create chaos, create riots. When Israel is dealing with the riots, they tell the world that the Israelis are invading into the Temple Mount, and now we need to go and save Al-Aqsa Mosque from the invaders. And that gives the religious justification in the middle of the holiest month of the year for Islam. That gives them the justification, the excuse, if I may, to escalate the situation. And this is exactly what we knew that is going to happen, and this is exactly what is happening. We have been warning the Jordanians and the Saudis that we know of that plan. In fact, the Saudis actually condemned the Palestinians and how they are acting on the Temple Mount. They can see that they're desecrating the holy sites for the Muslims, but that doesn't mean that there's going to be anything else done. Folks, the Temple Mount, once again, is being used as a tool, Al-Aqsa Mosque, as a tool by the extreme Muslims, led by Iran, to instigate war and escalation. Okay, so now we had rockets from Gaza, rockets from Lebanon. Now we have rockets from Syria. And do not be surprised if there are going to be rockets even from Yemen all the way down to the Red Sea city of Eilat. What I'm trying to tell you, folks, these are very extremely difficult days for Israel. Passover is still going on. They're just telling the Jewish people that there's a threat on the traditional priestly blessing ceremony at the Western Wall in a few days. It's a traditional thing from the 1970s that priests are coming and they're praying the priestly blessing, the Aaronic blessing, right there at the Western Wall. You've been seeing, if you're following me, pictures of, I don't know, 30, 40,000 Jews by the Western Wall, and everybody is praying together. It's a beautiful thing, but now for the first time, it's actually, we're not even sure it's going to happen. So we're talking about, while I'm talking to you, there's so much more that is happening. Right now we are watching, about the rockets. We have some tanks that are now responding, artillery and tanks responding, tank fire responding. A couple days, well, yesterday, a Palestinian terrorist drive-by shooting at a car driven by a 21-year-old girl. Next to her was her 16-year-old sister, and behind them it was the mother. Two sisters were killed, and the mother is fighting for her life right now. And the father was driving in a car ahead. So the girls, obviously, once they were shot, they lost control, and the car got off the road, and they were pronounced dead on the scene. And the mother was airlifted, and she's fighting for her life. And then last night, an Israeli Arab, 45-year-old, drove with his car at a group of tourists from Italy. At least one of them was Italian, 35-year-old attorney from Italy. He landed in Israel less than 24 hours earlier. And you can read that on my Telegram. I even posted his photo. Wonderful young man called Alessandro Farini from Rome, Italy, and he was killed on the spot, 35-year-old, alongside with 7 other wounded people. Israel is experiencing a wave of terrorism right now, unprecedented, because, look, it's one thing to have a wave of terrorism within the country, but it's another when you're attacked with rockets from 3 different directions at the same time. Again, we're expecting a 4th direction. We're expecting one also from Yemen. Again, as I said, part of the agreement brokered by China between the Saudi Arabian and the Iranians is that there will be a ceasefire with the Houthis in Yemen, because Iran is operating them, of course. The UAE already pulled its forces from the area of Yemen, and the Saudis are expecting to do the same. And which means the Houthis will be bored and looking for a next mission, and the next mission is going to be Israel. Folks, breaking news, rockets from Syria towards Israel. That comes a day and a half after rockets from Lebanon, and that comes a day after rockets from Gaza. In between, car ramming, drive-by shooting, and the Al-Aqsa Mosque is, of course, in the center of all of this. The U.S. just sent a nuclear submarine off the coast of the Mediterranean, as well as a carrier, aircraft carrier in the area. And I'm watching some more stuff going on right now. Let me see. Okay, so we're expecting a very long night in Israel. Israel is expecting, we have intelligence. We have intelligence that Iran knew about the attack from Lebanon. Hezbollah and Iran knew, although it's a Palestinian Hamas rockets from Lebanon, they received green line from Iran and Hezbollah. This shooting from Syria, they're using small organizations, but it's all under the auspices of Iran. If Israel will not respond, this is the catch-22 here. If Israel will not respond, it looks like Israel is weak. If Israel will respond harshly, it might start a big war on all three fronts. So, and we're expecting something much bigger that the Iranians have been plotting and working on for the last few weeks. We've been seeing officials and senior officers of the Iranian Revolutionary Guards traveling in and out from Iran via Iraq to Syria, plotting. We've been seeing unprecedented number of airplanes and trucks smuggling new stuff into Syria. Why do you think they bring all of this to Syria? Why would a country that is hundreds of miles away from Syria, why will they bring to Syria instead of rice and medicine and water and oil, fuel, whatever? Why will they bring UAVs, mid-range, short-range, and long-range rockets, and all of this thing? Why? Because this has nothing to do with Syria. It has to do with Israel. They've moved their military presence from the Iranian territory close to Israel, so they can shoot. And they can keep their hands clean because it's the proxies that are doing that. It's not Iran. So you cannot really attack Iran when someone else has done this. All I'm trying to say, folks, no, it's not for nothing that the US sent a carrier and a nuclear submarine in the last 24 hours. Again, on my Telegram channel, I am reporting all of that around the clock. I just, I want to be disconnected for a few hours to give my message, Easter Sunday message, in a couple hours. And then I'll be back to report. But again, please be on Telegram. Stuff that you don't hear anywhere is there, okay? Everything from the agreement with Saudi Arabia, from Yemen. I mean, this is crazy what is going on. And again, for those of you who just joined, Israel was just attacked with rockets from the Syrian Golan Heights towards the Israeli Golan Heights. So now we add another front. If it was from Gaza, now we have from Lebanon, and now from Syria. And as I said earlier, we're expecting Yemen, the Houthis in Yemen, to even join the party because they're now signing a ceasefire with the Saudis under the auspices of the China broker deal. And now they're ready to take on some new missions from Iran. They are the proxies of the Ayatollahs in Iran. Breaking news, rockets from Syria on Israel, coming a day after there were rockets from Lebanon. That is a day after rockets from Gaza. In between, car ramming in Tel Aviv, killing a 35-year-old Italian tourist, and a drive-by shooting, killing 2 Israeli girls and wounding their mother critically. And that's not the end. I mean, it's just stuff going on all the time. And believe it or not, the woke, progressive, stupid protesters, instead of allowing the police to do its job right now, they are planning on protesting, and which means we need police, which means this is, I don't get it. I think they hate their country. That's what I think. I mean, I can't see anything else. No logic behind it. Um, this is it, folks. I'm just uh, I'm just telling you. I don't think that so Israel is not rushing to have an all out war against Hezbollah or the proxies in Syria, because we know that there is something much bigger that is planned, and this is what we are gearing up for and dealing with at the moment. This information is not only Israeli intelligence information, it's an American intelligence information as well, which is why America sent nuclear submarine with nuclear missiles. I mean, 150 of them, as well as a carrier. Um, so I'm just telling you, folks, we're talking about a lot of stuff going on. Please, please, please follow me and subscribe to my Telegram channel to hear everything um, about the situation, ongoing situation in Israel. I am about to leave Tokyo this morning on a train to Sendai to give an Easter Sunday message. Uh, I'm with family, so we will see the city and come back in the evening. In between, the only way for me to update you on what's going on is via using my cell phone. So what that means, it's going to be on Telegram. Okay, Telegram. Find Amir Tsarfati, download it. Telegram Messenger. I've got, just so you understand, you're not following the wrong Amir, because there's a lot of fake channels. People don't understand, why aren't you updating it? Because it's not my channel. My channel has 332,000 subscribers. If you're following a Namir Chalfati channel that has less than that, it's not mine. 4,000, 5,000 subscribers. This is a fake channel. Somebody is just using my name and is copy pasting stuff. Follow the real channel, 332,000 subscribers, so you will know this is for me, and I'm updating it all around the clock. Okay. Thank you, and God bless you. May God protect Israel. And for all of you, I suggest to receive some comfort. And for me also, as an Israeli, I woke up Psalm 124, Psalm 124. Read that psalm. It's not a long one, but it's a psalm that explains exactly why, even though 250,000 rockets are aimed at Israel, even though Israel is so small, even though we're surrounded from all around by those who plot against us, read Psalm 1. You know what? Why don't I do that? Because, um, it will be, I think, very encouraging and very uplifting to look into the word and not and not just hear the bad news. Okay, so I'm reading Psalm 124 right now, um, and that's the following words: If it had not been the Lord who was on our side, let Israel now say. If it had not been the Lord who was on our side, when men rose up against us, then they would have swallowed us alive. When their wrath was kindled against us, then the waters would have overwhelmed us. The stream would have gone over our soul. Then the swollen waters would have gone over our soul. Blessed be the Lord, who has not given us as prey to their teeth. Our soul has escaped as a bird from a snare of the fowlers. The snare is broken and we have escaped. Our help is in the name of the Lord who made heaven and earth. And again, if it had not been the Lord who was on our side, let Israel now say, we would have been destroyed. Remember that. Chant that. Keep saying that. Remember, I know the story of Israel. It's not going to end today. Certainly not tomorrow. This is the only nation that, as a nation, will experience salvation. And it's a nation that will return to God eventually after a terrible time of 7 years tribulation. And it will eventually come to faith. But so Israel has a future. Jesus is going to reign from Jerusalem. This is my wake-up call. Now it's 5 o'clock. I'm going to answer. Thank you. God bless you.